Greetings, fellow sim racers. I still have more issues and more thoughts around the differences between VR and flat screen on GT7, and I had reason to believe that this thing at the top here, virtual rear view mirrors in flat screen, actually have a really wide field of view, and it has to have a really wide field of view to actually allow people on a flat screen not to become blindsided by the lack of spatial awareness they'll naturally get and the lack of vision they'll naturally get on flat screen. But what I need to do first really is explain what field of view, FOV, is to the average GT7 player, because you can't change it in GT7. But it's actually pretty crucial to how sim racers set up their experience, basically. So what I've had to do is I've had to go into a proper sim, much more of a sim, which actually allows you to change the field of view, so the average GT7 player can see what field of view is, why it's so important for flat screen racing, and why it's actually giving people with the virtual mirrors and stuff in GT7 on flat screen such a massive advantage over the VR players. And you discover all of this. So go into car I used last, whatever it was, this one. Haven't used it for a while actually, but so this is Rennsport. Now you've got a field of view and it goes by degrees. Default is usually 90 degrees. As you can see, as I zoom out, you get to see a lot more of whatever you're looking at. So in this case it's the cockpit view. Now sometimes you'd have something set to 110 degrees, which is really set out really wide, and you can see a lot of the cockpit. But the problem with that is when you're racing on the track is distant objects will come at you really fast, and if you've got a big screen you should actually have the field of view set to a lot less than 90 degrees as a standard, as a default. So there's the 90 degrees. That's pretty much what you get in GT7 as a default, which is kind of bang in the middle really. But you would, on a 55-inch screen, which I've got, and only a centimetre or so away from it, I'll be on about 70 degrees, which is about that. So that's kind of what you'll get in VR as well. Everything's closer and more zoomed in. So going back to GT7, that mirror, I reckon has a field of view about 110 degrees, and it's also wider than a normal mirror as well. So that will also add to the field of view, and that means people on a flat screen will see loads more of what's going on behind and even around them that you shouldn't really get in a rear view mirror. And crucially, on the VR players, their field of view is really narrow, and it could be 90 degrees, it could even be less, but it gives you a lot less vision, and actually, as it turns out, about 50 meters less view range, which you'll see what I mean by that in a minute. So yeah, not only do you not see as much that's going on around you, but it's also limiting your ability to maneuver for 50 meters down the track, or about 50 meters down the track. It's actually huge, the difference. But you'll see why that is and what that means when I explain it in a minute. Right, the easiest way to do this is probably live replay review. So VR, coming up to Aston Martin, and alongside, nothing in the rearview mirror on the right. Going past him. If I skip this frame by frame, 200 metre board, although I've got my head turned towards the mirror, I'm focused on the braking point, so you can see it says 200 metres. And just as I Yeah, and they get to 150. Still nothing. Go on a bit further. Get to the 100 meters. You can see there on the right. And only on the 100-meter board do I start to see his rear wing on the very left-hand edge of that mirror start to come into view. It's only by then do I have, well, not only do I know I'm past him, I think I might be past him, but I can actually see him again. See him again. That's the important thing. Okay, so now we skip to the bumper cam view, and we're going down the inside again. Now, I can still see his right front wheel and right front corner of the car. If you look at the mirror, I can start to see his right rear corner of his car creeping into view. So I know where his car is. I can see the front and rear of his car. Physically impossible, the way light works in this universe as it stands, but hey, that's what you're allowed in GT7. So coming up to the 200 meter board, where I couldn't see him at all in my rear view mirror in VR, and coming to the 150, I can see almost all of his car, but I still don't think I wouldn't think I'm quite ahead. I don't think I'm probably ahead, but by that time I can see his lights, which is there. So a car length maybe after the 150, and by the time I get to the 100-meter board, I can see all of his car in my rear view mirror. I would happily move back across in front of him, but I'm actually planning to get down the inside of that guy as well. Third person view, the third person, you see even more. So again, I come up to this guy and going past him, get to the 200-meter board. I'm not quite ahead, but I could see him couldn't see him in VR, could see him in the bumper cam view. Here's the interesting thing though, in third person, when I get to the 150, which we're passing it now, I'm kind of almost enough to get ahead of him. Yeah, I took almost move in. A couple more frames, I could move in on him now. That's about 45 meters before the 100-meter board, where I know I can move over on him and go back onto the racing line. And that explains why esports drivers often use the third-person view as well, because you can see a hell of a lot more of what's going on around you, even more so than it seems in bumper cam. Alright, so look, some more examples. So look at this Porsche on the right here. So I'll start, this is obviously in VR, I'm looking across to see when I'm past him. So stepping through, now I'm actually having to look to the right, so I'm not looking straight ahead like you might be in third person or in the bumper cam in 2D, but it's just going out of shot now. And then look at the number of frames I have to click through, clicking, loads. I'm looking for when it becomes visible, so where I can have any idea where he is. And I'm still going through, and it's, look how many, and you'll find this is loads and loads of frames. And now I can just sort of see his left rear start to come into view, and I can only really properly see him by the time I'm going past that orange barrier marker for where they, there's a gap in the barriers to get rid of broken down cars and stuff. So that's a good marker to see when I can see in VR when I'm past him. So am I actually past him? I don't know, possibly yes. You wouldn't really chance it though. But what's interesting is look at the right mirror, the right wing mirror. There's nothing there. In reality, I should have been able to see him in that wing mirror long before I could see him in the rear view mirror, because that's what wing mirrors are for in real cars. I don't know if you've noticed this on the road, but you can always see a car in the wing mirror before you can see him in the rear view mirror. But anyway, physics thing. The car, it's only just starting to come into view in the wing mirror now, and I can see loads of that car. I will be happily moving in front of him in VR by then. And this red Mazda will come to in a minute as well, because this is another good example. So this is the bumper cam view, and again, play it forwards a bit, is left front is just going out of view now, and a few frames and now I can see his left rear, so I'm guessing this is a shorter car than the Mercedes AMG I went past earlier, which it will be shorter wheelbase. But anyway, but there's not much of a difference between him going out of shot in the front view before I can see him in that rear view camera. So the field of view on that rear view mirror is way wider. And then I get to the third person, and again, so you're looking at that orange marker, and if I was playing third person, I would see, I'd know where he is, and I'm ahead of him here. And look at that orange marker. It's barely in sight. Barely in sight. And just going back to this one, I'm past him, you can see that orange marker on the barriers. So you have way more actual kind of field of view and more knowledge of where cars are in the 2D. So let's have a look at this Mazda as well, which I passed straight after as well. Again, it's the same sort of story. So in VR, going past him, I'm looking in the mirror. I can still see the Porsche in the mirror, so he's just going out of sight now, and I can't see him, can't see him. And you're looking for some sort of marker which you can measure, and I'll show you what that is in a minute, but still can't see anything, still clicking through, still can't see anything, still can't see. Now he's just coming into view. You can just sort of see his red left rear starting to come into view. Still can't see anything in that wing mirror. Should have been able to see something in that wing mirror long before, as poorly angled as it is. Now if you look at this commentary box thing, I'm going to call it a commentary box, this rounded building, that's when that's sort of, you're almost going past that or coming up to that. You can see I could see and know I'm kind of ahead in VR by that point. So if you go to bumper cam view, and again catching up, going past, and it catches up, so it's just going out of view now. Few clicks, I'm a bit further away from him. So there his left rear starts to come into view, and I know I'm kind of past him about here, and look where that rounded commentary box area is. There's 10 car lengths or more. I mean, we're looking, it really is a consistent 50 meters more spatial awareness. I mean, when you get to about where I was in VR here, look how far ahead of that car I am now in the rear view mirror. And then of course in third person, again, it's even more extreme. So you go past him, and you sort of know you're past him by about, what, here? Well, maybe here you could probably move across. And look how far away that commentary box is as well. It's even further away, that rounded part of that building. So it's night and day. It's massive. It's 50 meters. It's 50 meters. I mean, that compared to when you think you're ahead of him there, I mean, I'm practically on it. That's a staggeringly huge difference. Now check this out. Based on what I can see, and this is probably maybe a 10 degrees error margin, excuse my crude diagram, but in the flat screen, if I can see the rear quarter of a car before I'm fully past it, it has to be about that, about 80 degrees. And if I can see the front of the car, yeah, further back, yeah, 80 degrees. In VR, well, you can't see the car when its rear quarter is alongside. It has to be way further behind. And if it really is that kind of distance behind, are you really only getting 30 degrees field of view on your rear view mirror? Wow! And the wing mirrors are even worse. And you definitely can't see anything till you're well ahead of that car in front. And this is based on those markers and when I was passing cars. That's enormous. I thought it was going to be much closer than that. In fact, I thought the flat screen one was probably going to be about 110 degrees, and the VR about 70. But wow, That's why I feel completely blind in VR in terms of my mirrors. It's because you are blind. Okay, in real world, it's probably somewhere between those two. Maybe about 55, which would be between 60 degrees. But you definitely see more in your wing mirrors. I mean, that's just absolutely massive. So another massive advantage you get in flat screen versus VR, because the game's designed for flat screen. Oh, by the way, and I should also point out, I've tried this in various Group 4 cars, I've done it in various road cars, and it's all the same. So it's not car specific, it's definitely down to the overall general physics of the game.